All right, it is Tuesday, 4 p.m. Just in time for trending news. We are here to update you the news making headlines across the country. My name is Brian Amwai. Let's begin. KMPDU Secretary General Davji Atela today led demonstrations by health practitioners as their industrial action entered its 20th day. Now, the medics have reiterated that they will not be cowed or intimidated into calling off the strike until their concerns are addressed.
We have seen the county governments just running helter-skelter and doing politicking with this issue. But we want to say, we voted and the country voted for the president. Where this matter has reached, it is him who is to protect the Constitution. And in Article 43 of the Constitution is the one where every Kenyan has a right to access health care first before anything. And we get sick in the same way like any other Kenyan. So in case we have deaths or any conditions that are going to deteriorate because of this strike, the government is 100% responsible. Because even in the negotiation, they are the ones who walked out, they left us sitting, meaning they did not have any plans or any arrangements to actually agree with us. We have gone to the extent of consolidating our issues from 19 to 10, but they still don't have any offers from their side. They have not moved at all. It means that they don't care. And we've always said this before, that they don't care because they have FT insurances, that if they're sick today, they fly out of the country.
So in these 20 days you have been away, we know that some of our patients whom we have known and followed up for years in the clinics have probably gotten worse, or some of them have lost their lives. But the question we keep on asking that, who is to blame for this? Because in the 100-day strike, the idea was to have a CBA signed. We had a CBA in 2013 that government denied and disowned, signed by their own PS, and took us 100 days and jailing us to sign the new CBA 2017. And the Ministry of Health, through their lawyers who took this CBA to court as a court order. Today we are shocked that governors who sat in those meetings, governors who signed those documents, are saying that they were never part of that process, but they signed needlessly though. We are embarrassed to hear Susan Akumisha say that the CBA was signed by a different government.
All right, away from that, as the nationwide industrial action by doctors entered its 20th day today, patients in public hospitals remained stranded as post-check at Nakuru County Referral and Teaching Hospital showed that more services were being offered as nurses and clinical officers filled the gap left by the striking doctors.
The doctor strike has really affected our services, and but we are able to cope. We are able to manage, especially maternity services. We are able to sustain dialysis. We are able to sustain some inpatient services, and also we are able to take care of the emergency surgical services. So we can't say we have lost lives because of the strike, but it has also affected our day-to-day workings, especially for patients who need elective surgeries. Our outpatient services have been running well because the county government of Nakuru has been able to adapt, because we have some doctors and clinicians who are on contract. So those ones have been able to sustain the services for this hospital. So we can't say we are fully grounded, but we are not optimal. Our clinical officers, we have a bit, not all of them, the strike is still early, so not all of them are on strike. So we can't really say for now that all of them are on strike, because a lot of services under the clinical officers are ongoing. For the medical officers, we have very few medical officers on PNP. So most of our medical officers, around 23, are on contract. The ones on PNP maybe around 5 or so.
Now, it being the third week of industrial action by doctors, other unions, including the Kenya Union of Nutritionists and Dietitians, have threatened to down their tools and join their counterpart if their issues are not addressed within 7 days. Addressing the media in Nairobi, now the three unions decried what they termed as discrimination, noting that the health ministry had deliberately left them out of the ongoing talks with health workers.
It is sad to note that upon the registration of the three listed unions, namely the Union of Pharmaceutical Technologists, Kenya Environmental Health and Public Health Practitioners Union, the Kenya Union of Nutrition and Dietitians, and KHPS, having met the requisite requirements for official recognition, the Ministry of Health has negated, or rather has failed to recognize the above trade unions in contravention with the Labor Relations Act. In view of this, we wish to issue a 7 days demand notice as follows. Number one, that the Ministry of Health and county governments to immediately recognize the Kenya Environmental Health and Public Health Practitioners Union, Kenya National Union of Pharmaceutical Technologists, and Kenya Union of Nutrition and Dietitians as per Section 54 of the Labor Relations Act, number 14 of 2007. Number two, the Ministry of Health to immediately post and pay public health officers interns, nutrition interns, and pharmaceutical technology interns and other healthcare interns as per the job group and existing laws. And then last but not least, number three is that the Ministry of Health and county governments to immediately absorb all the contracted universal health coverage staffs, the CHAP and COVID-19 staffs. We had another group called COVID-19 staff who worked for around 1 year, and they were on pay, and their contract was just dismissed like that without even any knowledge to them. And the principle of equal pay for equal work. Take note, and we are very serious about this, take note to the ministry that if this demand will not be honored by your officers within 7 days from today, effect from the date of service of this demand notice, the three listed unions and associations will individually institute all calls for industrial actions without any further reference to you.
Serikali imeenda mgomo. Na kwa sababu serikali imeenda mgomo, sisi hatuna bundi ila kujiunga nao. Tunasema hivi kwa nini? Kwa sababu serikali imekuwa ikiendelea na mazungumzo na ile miungano mingine na wametuacha nje. Hata saa hii wako kwa mkutano pale katika Wizara ya Afya, wametuacha nje, ni kama sisi si wafanyakazi wa Kenya hii.
Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has warned against increased attacks on police officers in the line of duty during the ongoing nationwide crackdown against illicit brew and drug abuse. Now, speaking as he visited Juja Police Station OCS Chief Inspector John Misoi, who is receiving treatment at Avenue Hospital in Thika after he was injured by illicit alcohol brewers and sellers during a crackdown at Gachororo slums in Juja town. The DP warned that the government will not spare anyone found culpable of committing such heinous crimes.
I want to assure our officers that the Presidential Task Force on Police Reforms was presented to the President. The recommendations were accepted and they are being worked out. And from July 1, their terms of service will be reviewed by 40% progressively in 3 years. Again, we are looking at insurance for our police officers who get injured in the line of duty. Again, those who lose their lives in the course of duty, we are having a package that will take care of their families so that they don't suffer. So let me assure our police officers and administration officers across the country that the government will take care of them, and we want to urge them to proceed with this war without any interruption. And I want to confirm that the amount of ethanol that was coming into the country has now lessened. I also want to confirm that Kenyans are now sober, and we are getting very good reports that even people who are drinking have actually given up. The war is 70% won, but there is still 30%. I want to ask our courts to know that the judges and magistrates are also parents, and their children are not immune to drug abuse and alcohol abuse. I want to request them to be fair to the people of Kenya and allow us to carry on with this exercise. Much as we want people to go to court to seek justice, we want to ask the courts to not give ex parte orders. Let them hear both sides. Let them hear the complainants, let them also hear the government, and then they can make a determination. But we want to say that the war is on, and there is no let-up, and this will continue for as long as drugs are available in the market, as long as illicit alcohol is available in the market.
Now, the Women Leadership Academy has been launched in the country in the quest to empower women leaders. The academy aims to address the disparity by providing women with skills and support needed to excel in leadership positions. Now, the program covers a wide range of topics, including balancing leadership and management skills, fostering trust-driven work environments, among others. Now, the private sector sees just 22% of leadership roles occupied by women. As of January 2022, only 18.1% of businesses in Kenya have women in top management, while 13.2% of firms have a majority female ownership.
Women were given loans to build businesses.
Yeah, whenever we look at women leadership and we keep talking of the future and women leaders taking up opportunities, I think it's a great milestone. Thinking around how many companies, if you look 10 years ago and today, are being led by women. And the call continues to bring in more women into leadership positions, especially the C-suite level. But the question still remains, do we have opportunities to build capacity in the women? Are we able to actually put them through a program that you're able to say, I'm confident that I can run this institution because of what I have gone through? Because credibility comes by when we earn the right through education or through experience. And I think for me, that's the gap we have observed in the market, that the statistics around women running businesses in terms of even loans, think of women who've been given a loan, the repayment numbers still higher. When you look at success of women-run organizations, again, the success is higher. And so what we're saying is we need just to bridge the gap between the possibilities of women running organizations and the capabilities within those women to be able to be confident to run this organization. When you think of how many women say they were board ready, how many were actually prepared to walk the journey to join the board, many will say it was by flukes, I learned, I did. It was not organized and structured. But now it's an opportunity we have to actually bring a structured journey where you can actually know I'm being prepared for a board position in a few years, and it's something you're taking a proactive way. So looking at the launch of the Women Leadership Academy is a great opportunity that we can leverage for women leaders in Kenya and all over Africa.
With each other, the good bits and the bad bits, the things that are difficult.
It's like my family, women helping women.
Now, stakeholders in the Education and Environment Ministries today held an inter-ministerial meeting targeting 17 million learners in the tree growing exercise as the government targets to plant 18 billion trees in 10 years. Now, the stakeholders have called on the learning institutions to embrace green cooking technology and shun from using firewood, which will play a big role in environmental conservation.
Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry is the technical ministry. It's the coordinating ministry for the 15 billion tree growing initiative and has been enumerated. We have made several strides towards achieving this very ambitious target that the government of Kenya has set as one of the ways to combat the climate crisis that we are faced with. It is a whole of government approach, and that is why my ministry is the coordinator and technical backstopping ministry. I want to really commend the work that the Ministry of Education has undertaken on its part, because in our strategy, we have set targets for each and every ministry, department and agency of government on how much of the 15 billion trees each MDA will take up.
We have over 300 TVET institutions all over the country, And we have also said right from national polytechnics and the TTIs, each and every one of them must also have a tree nursery, because it is out of these tree nurseries that we will be able to get the necessary support required of getting the numbers that we want of seedlings to give to the community, so that we get to the number that is.
It is 15 billion in note 18, as earlier stated. Now listen, we've come to the end of our program at this particular hour. Details to this particular stories will be coming your way in our subsequent bulletins, that is at 7 p.m. on Lookuptv with Fiona Kenga, and on the Bottom Line KE tonight with me, Brian Amwai. Enjoy the rest of your programming here on Lookuptv, and see you later tonight.